Greetings. Today I'll be showing you how to record and submit student marks into our system, which is the ERP portal. Now, for us to accomplish the goal for entering the marks of the students in the portal, we'll start by logging in, and I will do that by searching the ILU website through my browser. Once I'm in the website, I will go to e-resources for me to log into the system. So when I go to e-resources, I can find student portal, e-library, its learning login, and staff ERP portal. And now, since we are focusing on entering the marks, let's click on staff ERP portal, because this is where the marks are recorded. Now, when you click on the staff ERP portal, it gives you a chance to key in your login details, which is basically your email address and password. Now that's what I'll key in here, and click on sign in. Now, once you are in the system and you want to record the student marks as a lecturer or a program leader, there are only 2 steps for recording the marks, and they are all done under examinations management. So here in the system, you just scroll down to examinations management. Now, under examinations management, you can see assessments, examination incidents, examination script, special and supplementary exam marks, and student marks. Now, for you to record the student marks, it's like I said, it's 2 steps. And the first step is creating assessments. Now, assessment is whereby you decide or you determine that you as a lecturer, you had 2 cuts for a particular course. Let's say you had cut 1 and cut 2, cut 1 out of 20, the second cut out of 20, and the final exam out of 60. That will be for the undergraduate, and for the postgraduate, for the masters and PhD, it's the opposite. The cuts contribute to 60 and the final exam contribute to 40 marks, 40 marks and percent. Now, the first step is creating an assessment, and I will do it practically here. Let's now go to the assessment section. So you search for the course that you're teaching here. You can use the code or the course name. And when you do this, you ensure that it's attached to the current trimester. This box, you see the trimester named here, it helps you know whether the assessment you are creating is for the current trimester. Like this one is for second trimester 2024-2025. However, since we are in first trimester 2025-2026, this is the right one. And then you go to exam category. You select cut. If you had 2 cuts, let's say the first cut, we can call it cut 1. And assuming it was marked out of 20, and the percentage contribution is also 20. Once you fill all these boxes for cut 1, you can either click on create or create and create another. Because if let's just click on create and create another, because we are not done creating all the assessments. So let me click on create and create another. You see, we have created assessment for cut 1. However, we need to do that for all the assessments. We are going to do the same process. Now cut. Now let's do that for cut 2. if the second cut was also marked out of 20 and percentage contribution is also out of 20. Once you key in all of that, you click on create and create another. And now we are creating the last assessment, which is a final examination. Exam category, you select final exam. Assessment name can be final exam. And for the undergraduate, it's always marked out of 60. Considering the fact that the total contribution for the cuts was 40 and the overall contribution should be 100. So it goes without saying that the final exam is out of 60. So since we were creating another before we created all the assessments, and now this is the last assessment, instead of create and create another, we click on create. Now, that way, we shall have created all the assessments for this particular course. Now, since we are done with creating the assessment, the second and the last, it's the last step actually, for now entering the marks is that you go back to examinations management, and now since we are done with the assessments, we go directly to student marks. Now, when you click on student marks, you will see the course that you're teaching there again. And now, since we created assessments for this particular course, you will see the yellowish tab to the farthest end called marks in yellow. That's what you select. That's what you click. Now, let me just click on the marks in yellow. Uh, when you do that, this is what you will see in your screen. And now you may proceed with the recording the marks. Just to repeat, you can't record the marks here if you don't create the assessments, because the assessments inform what you input under student marks. So once you get to this page, you click on record new marks. And when you do that, you see the system will ask you to specify the marks that you want to enter. You have to specify that I'm entering marks for the assessments Cat 1 or Cat 2 of the final exam. So the assessment name based on the assessments that we created earlier. Now let's start with Cat 1. When you click on Cat 1, you now select the tab Record Marks. Now, when you do this, the list of students, the names of students appear there, and there is a box that allows you to enter marks for Cat 1. You see, this is the box. You can enter the marks for Cat 1. You remember we created them and it was out of 20. This is an example. You can do that for all the students. When you're done entering marks for Cat 1, you do the same process for Cat 2 and final exam. And now in this case, you just click on create record new marks again, and you select now Cat 2 and you do the same. When you are done entering all the marks, a tab will appear for you to validate. You see, it's appeared here. The moment you start entering the marks, you will see this tab. However, you need to enter all the marks for Cat 1. You do the same for Cat 2 and for the final exam. Then, after that is when you come to the validate button. Now, when you click on validate button, it will also ask you the assessment you want to validate. Do you want to validate the marks for Cat 1 or Cat 2 or final exam? You select the one you want to validate and you click on validate. I won't validate here because these are done for practice. Now, this is basically the last step. After recording all the marks, you validate all of them, and then you submit. As a lecturer, you submit provisionally. Yes, and after validating all the marks, the button for submitting provisionally will also appear here. So after validating all of them, you submit provisionally. Now from there, the marks are accessible by the program leader, and the program leader has the rights now to submit, to make the final submission. The program leader is the one who clicks submit marks. That happens after they have moderated the marks at the school level. Yes, thank you, and that's all for recording marks.